Sometimes you just need something to push against. For 2.5 years, I worked a good job that was 44 miles away from my house. The job paid a couple of dollars over Washington State minimum wage and had sweet benefits. It also had an early start time, sometimes as early as 4:55 a.m. When I factored in the 1 hour and sometimes more early morning commute, I had to go to bed so early I was only seeing my grade schoolers for a couple of hours each evening. I was going to bed sometimes 2 hours earlier than my first and second graders and sneaking around the house to get ready at 3 in the morning. After the first year, I started pushing against the job because of all the time I was spending away from my husband and kids. In the summer, my 70-year-old mother would have the kids all day, and I could see how tired she was by the time I came to pick them up. That job got crazy with overtime in the summer and again in November and December. 9.5-hour days and mandatory Saturdays were the norm. On the very day I left that job, one department was told they would have a mandatory Saturday and Sunday until someone invoked Washington State labor laws to management. Then Sunday became voluntary. One man I worked with had worked over 30 days without a day off because he was using the overtime to pay off his retirement property. Another young man I worked with did the same to get the money to put his wife through grad school at Washington State University. So overtime is not necessarily evil if you love it. But I didn't. I knew I was missing out on the prime time to be a mom, while my kids still thought I was smart and wanted to hang out with me. So I pushed against the job and worked as hard as I could on my blog and writing. In February 2013, I was able to quit and write from home full-time. My husband also works from home, painting classic cars. He needed help sanding a car and said if the writing thing didn't pan out, I could be his sanding wench. I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. Yesterday I got to sand on an old Mustang by hand and with a grinder. Oh my gosh, talk about sore muscles. It gave me something new to push against because I sure don't want to be his full-time sanding wench, that's for sure. So it's good to have a goal that you are striving for, but for me it's also good to have something to push against.